Alright, timestamp. It is September 22nd. Yeah, 2025. It's been a couple days since I've done the entry. That's bad me. I promised I wouldn't do that. It is 6:20 a.m. I just grabbed a much needed shower. It had been a couple days. I know that may sound disgusting or weird, but just get caught up in here, just fall over on the couch, get up and do it again. My dad was doing that too with the dementia. That's actually a symptom of dementia, is the lack of hygiene bathing. Yes, I know I'm doing with a Q-tip what you're not supposed to do. I'm careful. Trust me, I value my hearing. I know how far to go, but I also know that this is really one of the best tools for doing that. I don't like, you know. I mean, we'd come by and he'd be wearing the same clothes, and he's out working on, digging holes for plants and stuff. He'd do that for a week on end. I don't know if that's part of where the bed bugs came from. Pix and I have been trying to figure out. I mean, looked it up online, and according to the experts, a dirty house is not necessarily the reason that bed bugs spring up. But looking at what we got going on here, it's kind of hard to dismiss it as a possibility, It just is. The drunk driver that modified my spine. Occasionally I have to crack my neck or whatnot. Exactly. Or it's like really stiff and painful. Typically doesn't hurt on the regular. It's just the lower back. Kind of always at a 1 or 2. And that's not me like whinging or bitching. It's just a statement of fact. Kind of used to it. Mind you, a life without that would be okay. Not saying it wouldn't, but pretty used to it by now. Oh, going over my list. It's so small. Yeah, I just had Steve Carell in my head too, in case. So yeah, I need to get that. I got a small load of laundry. I just redid all my bedding, which it was nice to actually take a nap, sleep, whatnot on fluffy, clean comforter. I have a very thick, like quilty thick comforter that I put over the couch, and I was like spraying it down with the Adams flea bed bug spray and like recovering it with the comforter, and it was time to clean the comforter. It's an entire washer in itself because of how thick it is. I got it done in like 3 hours, surprisingly, between the washer and the dryer. Maybe 4. It took 7 one day. The dryer was just not doing it because it's huge and the heat permeating the entire thing apparently just no. Yeah. Ooh, yeah, I need to call that. Coming up on a Monday morning, so there's some business calls that I can make. Can't really do much with, like, institutions, so to speak, on the weekend. Speaking of institutions, no word from Billy at the VA as far as getting my dad placed in a VA home. I'm going to keep saying that until I can say differently. It's going to be a waiting game. I mean, we may get lucky, and here's the crappy part of that. The way my dad gets a bed is when a bed becomes available, and kind of the only way a bed becomes available, unless they've added more beds is if a current resident so for me it's strange. I don't know how to approach this from a praying, manifesting standpoint. Please let a place open up. I'm basically saying, can someone die? Exactly. You know what I mean? It's like, how do you approach that? Just kind of whatever happens. I swear I'm a good person. Oh, there's one thing I actually got done. See, a bunch of these things I've started. I can't cross it off because it's not done, but I've started them. Yeah, I mean, there's 10 things here that I've started. 15. Not done. We did not do a garage sale this weekend. I was making, and you wouldn't know it by the mess behind me. Tiny knew immediately. Making good progress, just trying to reclaim the dining room and the kitchen, because we have something new coming. I'm so 12. But trying to get organized interior wise, and with the success we've had on eBay, I'm not like, oh God, if I don't do a garage sale, we're in trouble. We're okay. I've got enough to keep us going for the next 2 or 3 months, as long as we didn't, slipped into an English accent for something. As long as we didn't get incredibly crazy. As long as we didn't become daft. Yeah, I've got 15 of these things started, but I can't in good conscience cross it off. Typically I'll put a check mark next to it if I've started it, just to encourage me, but I'm okay. But as a pro tip, as far as list making, if you do have a list like that and you're looking at it going, God, I've started all these things but I haven't been able to finish them, put a check mark by them. Because that way when you look at the list, you're like, okay, I got these 2 things done, I haven't gotten these done, but I've gotten these 8 things started. So let me redirect my focus on those 8 things to see if I can actually cross a couple of them off. That's just what I do. But it helps me sometimes when I'm in a mental rut. And I have been in mental ruts before, but I'm starting to kind of come out of it. Past 2 years have just been one of my favorite movies is The Martian, Matt Damon. And every now and then, Watney's voice will pop into my head in the background. And what I heard is, it's a real dick punch. Bought 1 brick, and we've been consistently getting 1 brick a day, occasionally 3, so I'm encouraged by that. Yeah, man. Yeah. I've got a big old bag of chicken leg quarters defrosting on top of the stove right now. It is a brick of chicken. I think it's 6-7 pounds, one of those big Tyson bags, whatnot. So, not totally sure what I'm doing with those yet, but I got a bunch of potatoes, and I got lots of veg. I think I'm going to do a olive oil Italian seasoning, a shake and bake with it. I know, right? Sounds good. Yeah. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. Currently watching an auction on eBay that I saw that I'm just because I've got a couple of these. I'll show you what I'm looking at. I've got a couple of these Can we get in there? Yeah, I think I can. I think I can. So that is 5 of the NECA, or NECA, I've heard it pronounced. I've heard it both ways. Aliens figures. They're like a 8-inch figure, I think. The detail on them is really, really good. And I've got a couple of them. This has got a couple that I don't have. Like, I know I have a Hudson and a Hicks. It's I think I said it was Aliens run. I know I have a Hudson, I know I have a Hicks. This has a Vasquez, who I love. And it even has a Burke, Carter J. It also has Windrix, which I had to look this up because I was like, there's no Windrix in the Colonial Marines. Kind of a neat story. It's Windrix. That was kind of a commemorative figure that came out. One of the sculptors at NECA, last name is Windrix. The figure is designed and named for his brother. While they were designing one of the runs, they found out that he had like stage 4 cancer and had like 6 months. And he was a huge fan of the Aliens franchise. And word got around, there were backroom talks and things of that nature, and they decided to do a commemorative figure in that particular production run in the brother's image. So, because at first I was like, Windrix, that's not even real, what is that? And I looked up the reason for it, and I'm like, okay, I would proudly have that in my collection, it's pretty cool. So the guy got to make a figure of his brother for his brother. He got to see it before he passed. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. You know, the past 2 years and my diagnosis and stuff like that is, I'm not gonna lie, it's made the mortality concept a little bit more, you know, more real, more near and dear. So the idea of a figure like that, I'm like, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. But right now the auction's got like 4 hours to go. It's going to end on a Monday morning, which if you're doing eBay, Monday mornings are not typically a good time for an auction to end. You know, you want a time when most people are more readily available to be able to, you know, watch their screens so that you can get bids up to the last minute. I don't know that Monday mornings are really, you know, in my time zone, it's going to end at like 11 a.m. on a Monday morning. Most folks they're at work. They're not sitting at home shopping on eBay. They're at work. So, but I will be. So I'm watching that. It's at 99 bucks right now, but even those figures loose typically go for like 40, 50, 60. And it's got a lot of the gear. Looks like there's like 2 trackers, 3 pulse rifles. I'm pretty sure that's Hicks's shotgun. Yeah, he has it for close encounters. Looks like Vasquez has her, I think it's a 45, in the holster across the front. And 2 face huggers. So, it's like Hudson and Hicks have their helmets. I don't know if Windrix comes with a helmet normally or not. If I win the auction, I'll take what I get. Because realistically, that's a pretty nice bunch of gear. Because also, when you buy figures loose, they frequently, you know, are naked. They usually don't have any of their stuff with them. So that's a nice handful of stuff to actually come with it. I think the face huggers came with Burke. I think because he wasn't, you know, a Marine, so what do you give a figure like that accessory-wise? And I think there was like a test tube, a broken test tube, and 2 face huggers. because, that's something he used, so to speak, in the movie. Just ask Ripley and Newt. I love Paul Reiser. Oh, it's so easy to hate that character. You dog me, pal. You did what? Ooh. You got off lucky, dude. Might have been painful, but it looked like it was probably a quick death. You got off lucky. You were ready to sacrifice 2 people just to make some money. That's not even counting what you were willing to do to the Marines probably on the way home. Wait, we don't know. If you know the scene, you know what I'm talking about. Well, yes, so... Yeah, I'm kind of with Hicks on that one. Ordinarily, I wouldn't ascribe to ending someone like that, but in that kind of situation, he's already proved that he is willing to sacrifice you. You can't turn your back on him. And you don't really have the manpower to babysit a prisoner. I'm not gonna lie, Tiny, as I was getting up, Tiny was going down. So, because in the Daffy Duck aspect of things, the coffee is mine, all mine. Because nobody else will be dipping into it probably. I made a pot of the Starbucks toasted coconut. There's not a lot of it left. She's kind of either or on it. But I'm not. It's so good. I'm gonna feed Janus. I think he'd like that. He had a can earlier, but it is time. Still giving him the good stuff and some kibble. If you can hear that little tap dancing noise in the background, he's right up on there. What do you think, Janus? Yeah? Is this a good idea? Oh, okay. Oh, Jinx, I'm glad you're here. No, don't. Here you go, pal. There you go. Hey. Yep. Hey, Jinx, maybe don't be a jerk. What do you think? Don't be a jerk. Guard your food, Janus. So yeah, he's doing pretty good. You eat that, you get strong. He's still got a little bit of, I don't know, maybe an inch long total. Yes, Jinx, I still love you, but patient gets the wet food. And I gave you a can yesterday, too. I don't want to hear it. So it's probably like, because he had his arm removed, because the break was severe and all that. So it's probably maybe an inch and a half total, that I can still see that's like that and that. And that's bigger, way bigger than what is actually on him. And it's probably where the most damage was done to the skin, because it was an L-shaped wound, they peeled him kind of to get at the shoulder. So I would expect that would be, the last part to heal, because it's probably the most severe that they, did what they did. And it's still just that little bit scabby there. So he's going to spend another 3, 4, maybe 7 days in a crate. Because I don't want, number one, Hex isn't going to beat him up or anything like that. Hex is actually a very chill cat and is kind of a healer. If there's another cat in the house that isn't feeling good or, out of sorts, whatnot, he'll usually lay with them and try and get them back into society. True story. It's pretty cool. It's my little healer cat. Honestly, none of the cats in here are like overly aggressive. But just to make sure he heals up smooth. Keep him out of harm's way a little bit longer. But yeah, he's getting the good stuff. And he's starting to... I haven't been able to pet him without getting a mild hiss. But Pix and I both have tamed feral and semi-feral cats before, so I'm optimistic. And he's sniffing my hand. I'll put the food in there and he'll like rest his head pretty much on my arm. I'll feel the actual pressure of like his nose going up my arm. I mean, he's investigating me pretty hard. So that tells me that he's at least open to the idea. I'll take it. You know what I mean? It's an in. Because I want to be his friend. I like him. And I'm going to do what I can to give him a good life, one that he wouldn't have had before. He was pretty messed up. I don't know if you could see in the footage, he's got the eye on that same side is cloudy. And apparently they did the catch and release thing on him beforehand because that ear is clipped. So it's kind of funny. I mean, calling him Janus, which is the two-faced god, and he kind of has like a two-face or a hide thing going on, the irony. We're going to give you a chance. I'm a sucker for hard luck cases. He's going at that. He's going at that. Based on the basic flavors and whatnot, I've tried pretty much everything with him. His favorite seems to be the turkey and cheese, followed very, very swiftly by the mixed grill, which is what that is. I'm not sure what is mixed on the grill, but the mixed grill, he goes at it. So he's happy, I'm happy. Because again, eat, be well. Hold on a sec. Jinx is just camped outside of Janus's crate. Words cannot describe. I don't know about you, but that's very much the vibe of, you can eat that? You can eat that? Hey man, you can eat that? Yeah, he's gonna eat that. Oh, okay. Nice. So I got in. Cool. Any bonuses? No. Always willing to look at bonuses. I got it. Yeah, still. I ordered one of these a while back. Okay, the reason I'm like chuckling to myself just that little bit. Alright, so I am concerned about some of the stuff that I want that I've been getting on Amazon going up in price because tariffs. Just keeping it real. And there are a couple things that I've been getting from China. I got one pack of this before, and I wanted to go back and get a few more for like diarama reasons. Put two of them over here. I'm just gonna. They're all the same. It's a pack of zombies, basically, and they're pretty basic. I've got one loose already over here. He hangs out on my desk. It's Brian. He hangs out. No relation to the guy down the street. It's got basic head movement, and he's a lot like the Kenner Star Wars. The legs don't move, but the hip swivels. Kind of like a dumbed down Kenner. Yeah, I called this guy Brian because to me he's wearing like beach attire. He's got like red shorts and a white top. It's a little Beach Boys, kind of homage. It's Brian. Bare naked ladies lying in bed just like Brian Wilson. Anyway. Oh, I love that band. But yeah, you can really tell when it's a non-English person designing the artwork on stuff. That's why I'm giggling, because it is just as ridiculous as I remember. The figures, not going to gripe. 6 in a pack, they're all different. It's like, I want to say it was like $8 for now. But, it's pretty good variation too. You can see him. This guy down here is like in almost a tux. If you pull the arm off, he could almost stand in for the Shaun of the Dead character towards the beginning. There's another Brian right there, as it were. Very easy to repaint these things. If you want to paint shirts different colors to give some variation in your scene. If you, like me, have gotten like 3 or 4 packs. But yeah, no, just... Okay, so... What is it? Dangerous Terror Corpse. Oh, okay. Zombie Come in... Okay, I'm going to start that again, because that... Anyway. Zombie Come in Assault Terror Escape. I read that right. So, I am going to go along here, and I'm going to guess that they did not consult someone whose primary language was English when they designed the header and the subheader on their packaging. But, I could be wrong. I mean, I know I'm not, but I could be. Somewhere in the multiverse, I'm wrong, Wow, these have been sitting in the warehouse for a while. It actually has a manufacture date, March 22nd, 2024. So this has been sitting in a warehouse for a year and a half. But yeah, in case the tariffs do start affecting stuff, and I already got hit with something I bought from Canada. I got like a secondary bill in the mail saying I owe an extra $10. Not kidding. It was, I think, one of the durable packages that I bought. I got it from Canada, and I got sent a little notice saying you still owe $10 because of taxes on shipping. But I'm noticing prices on Amazon kind of ticking up here and there. And a lot of the not made in America products that are like Walmart are starting to tick up a little bit. So, whether they're lawful or not, which they're not. Um, we're not in a wartime situation. Congress has absolute authority on doing that sort of thing in non-crisis situations, and frankly, we're not in a crisis situation. We've created one. We've created a dozen that we didn't need to be in, but that was all because of one orange whiny baby. Sorry. He's the playground bully with a checkbook, man. He has not been told no enough in his lifetime. And this is where we are. But I wanted to grab up a few of those before I can't get them or they double in price. Because if I'm doing some kind of a diorama or something like that, I've got the 6. I got the 1 pack initially. But I wanted a little bit of versatility, you know, a little bit more depth to the scene if I want it. I'm probably not going to get, I might get 1 or 2 more later down the road, but that'll pass by me for now. But this allows me, like the one in the blue jeans and the green shirt, I can, you know, paint one of the green shirts orange and one of them brown or whatever, you know, just to give a little bit more variety to the scene, if you will. You know, the beach one I can do, even if I keep the white shirt on all 3 of them, I can change their shorts colors. You know, I got a red, I got a orange, I got a yellow, and I got a dark blue. You know, going with kind of the beachy kind of feel. But yeah, no, they're pretty cool. And for $8 or whatever, a good 4-inch zombie figure that's pretty malleable. Yeah, I dig it. But I'm gonna get a few more things done. I might make another recording. Health-wise, I feel pretty good. I go back and forth on the whole chest tightness, and honestly, a lot of that is just because I think I'm still, and keeping it real. Hex, oi, oi. Dude! It's like clawing on the door frame over there. Excuse me. When your kid misbehaves at a party, right? What are you doing? I'm gonna wait until you get right here and then I'm gonna stop. You're an asshole sometimes, you know that? It's my cat. All tuxedo. But, made me lose my train of thought. Oh, yeah, with the past 2 years, 2.5 years of Shanae and her sisters, my brain's starting to calm down, but it's been a rough haul. And it's so funny because I've talked to quite a few, like, friends lately. I've got some friends that are calling. I talked to LT for like 4 hours day before, and everybody's like, I don't know how you're doing it. And I'm like, I don't either. This has been a nightmare roller coaster. But I know because we're kind of stabilizing a little bit. I still feel like I'm getting a phone call soon, just nagging in the back of my head. And I mean, my dad physically is okay at the moment. You know, the dementia definitely adjusting on my stool. It's definitely breaking his brain. The last time I talked to him was 3 weeks ago, I think now, maybe 2.5. But you know, we left off. He was mad because I wouldn't call the police to bust him out of there. I wouldn't go pick him up. And he's asking, you know, what did I do to deserve this? And it's like, he's not self-aware regarding his condition. You know, this is that awful tasting medicine that you've got to put in your kid's mouth. You know that it's one of the most disgusting things you could ever ask them to eat or drink, but you also know it's what has to be done. But yeah, the last words, and I'm hoping these aren't the last words I hear from him, just because that's gonna hurt until I die. The last words he said to me was, "You're no son of mine." And he handed the phone back to the nurse, and I heard him say, "I'm done." So I didn't care for that conversation. But I know that I'm doing what I have to do and what's right for everybody, even if he doesn't get it. But it still sucks. So I'm gonna Oh, okay. There's a piece of like straw or grass or something on the ground, and X is doing battle with it. That was that scrapey sound that was going on in the background there. I don't even know if the mic picked it up or not, but that's what it was. Better that than the door frame. Dick. Trying to fix this place up. I don't need that. I'm not going to declaw you, but if we get those caps on your claws, they'll probably charge me extra. I would charge me extra. Standard mani-pedi, you got 7 fingers, True. In case you didn't know, Hex, my tuxedo cat, is 7-toed on the front. He's freakishly beautiful. Love that cat. Anyway, I'm gonna call it for the moment. Get some more work done. Got some cooking to do. Dishes in, out, small little laundry, and boxes. Lots and lots of boxes. 1 brick. Make it a great day.